All right, Matt, give it to us.
Hey, you guys!
And welcome back to Sloth Love Chunk, your favorite Goonies Super-Fan podcast. I'm Ants,
Matt.
and with us today we got our first return guest, Mr. Daryl Boggs. We're gonna call him Moneybag Boggs on this
What's up,
episode.
guys?
Welcome back, Daryl.
Thank you.
Daryl literally just got in the door from driving back from Astoria, basically from Oregon today. So we really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank
Mhm.
you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you weren't driving too fast, were you?
No, but you know what? I got a ticket last night.
Really?
Oh,
For
no.
speeding?
But oh yeah, so I had it on auto control and at like 60, and I entered a
Mhm.
30-mile-an-hour zone, and it was 9:30, and I was so zoned out that
No.
it took me a minute to notice, and that minute that I noticed, so did the cop that was on the other side of the street.
Oh,
So
no.
he gave me a Goonies discount though, which I'm appreciative of. It saved me like $200. So
Wow.
yeah, it's been a wild ride. I mean, a lot of people were asking me how I was everywhere, and
Mhm.
my sleep schedule was midnight to 6 a.m. So I was running
Yeah.
for 18 hours a day. So,
Yeah.
getting from Megler to the Goonies house is only 10 minutes. It's easy to be everywhere in
Yeah.
Right.
Astoria for 18
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
So we're gonna
Yeah,
do
those
a. Sorry, Matthew. Go ahead.
No, no, I was just gonna say those days did go fast. I
Yeah,
mean,
Oh
it
Anthony
yeah.
and
went
I
way
commented
fast.
on that, and they just zoomed by.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. So on this episode, we're gonna do another quick recap for Matthew and I, probably just like what we did on Sunday, but we're really hoping to get a lot of good juice from Daryl because
Mhm.
Daryl was lucky enough to actually go inside the Goonies house. One of
Yeah.
very few people that were allowed to do it. So we gotta get all the info,
Yeah,
Daryl.
yeah. All the Goonies stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, Matt. But I mean, we'll let you go first, Maddie. How was your Sunday?
Sunday, early start. And as we had, what was our time? 8:30. We had an 8:30 slot to jump on a bus to go to the Goonies house. Surprisingly, Anthony and I got to Astoria Wednesday, right?
Thursday.
Wednesday evening, and we hadn't been to the house. Like of all
Yeah.
the things for us not to go see was the house, and we waited all the way until Sunday, and we met at the Armory, which is a pretty central point for a lot of things, and hopped on a bus. They took us up the hill to the Goonies house. We were the first group of the day, and we got to hang out on the porch, which was very cool. Like they did the house, they gave it some justice as far as decorating it movie wise, right?
Yeah, we had been to the house. What was it? 9 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just normal house. It hadn't been redone, and we really just ran up the driveway and ran down. This time,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it was the complete recreated Goonies house. We
Yeah.
got to go
Mm-hmm.
up there, go on the porch, and it
Mailboxes.
was a moment, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. It was, and
It-
I don't know if you all agree with me, Daryl, but Anthony and I were saying we were surprised how small the porch seemed when we were
Yeah,
up
there
there.
were some photos out there that I think were taken with the wide angle lens that made it look bigger. Or
Mm-hmm.
did it get reconstructed? I can't remember. One or the other. We were debating about that at one point, but I think it was a wide angle lens that made it look wider.
Yeah, it was
Mm-hmm.
very narrow. I was like, how'd you fit all these kids on this
Yeah.
porch?
Yeah. Like the drag. That was one of the funny parts. I asked Anthony, "Are
Yeah,
we gonna do the drag?" And he looks at me like, "No, we're
we're
not
gonna
gonna
break the
do
porch if we try.
that. We're not gonna do that." So yeah, we went to the house and it was cool.
It was a moment for me. I mean, I always get misty eyed at stuff, but we took pictures basically where the Goonies are. I mean, the classic picture where they're looking out from the
Yeah.
porch. I had my kids there,
Mm-hmm.
so it was just crazy to me that my kids, which are the same age as the Goonies, were like on the Goonies
Yeah.
porch doing
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
things. I was like, man, this is intense for me.
Yeah, it was. That was a highlight of the day. After that, we just kind of hung around town. Right, we went to the Heritage Museum, and they had some interesting things there.
Did you go to that exhibit, Daryl, at the Historical Society? It was right next door to the Armory.
The Heritage Museum?
Mm-hmm.
which
Yes, yeah, the
where they had the
Heritage.
Goonies
Uh-huh.
display, right? Like they had
Right
all the
on the
Upstairs
second
on the
floor.
second
Yeah.
floor.
yeah, it was the Heritage Museum.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I did. I did that late because I didn't get around to it. I stayed a couple days later. I stayed on Monday. Actually, I got in at 12:30 on Sunday night and went to front counter. I was like, I got to extend my stay. Like I didn't get to do any of the scenic stuff that I needed to do. I brought my drone, take some shots and stuff like that. I didn't get to do any of that, so I did that all the next day.
Hmm.
But yeah, I did that late. I think I did that on that day, on Monday.
That was awesome because they had a ton of behind the scenes pictures, which is cool. And
Hmm.
then they had some original props as well. Did you
Yeah,
did you see that they had mouths the dishwasher
dishwasher
Yeah.
door. Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Mouth's House? They call it Mouth's House, but I don't think it's
Yeah.
Mouth's House, but yeah,
No, it
dishwasher.
wasn't. I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "What? How did you guys get the dishwasher?"
Right. Did you guys get to go into Mouth's house at all? They were
No,
offering
we
$10
didn't.
visits.
No, we had
I
no
didn't even
idea.
realize it's we were already gone.
Yeah, so I saw
Hmm.
that earlier on before I got out there, and then kind of forgot about it, and then did the bus tour and saw the sign up in the front yard. So me and my buddy Jason, who I hung out with, he was one of my ride or die buddies. So was Michael Christopher. Yeah, Jason Music and Michael Christopher. We tried to get in one other day because we knew the sign was up and they were doing it, but I guess they weren't home at this point. But we finally got in there and talked to the owners and stuff, and they still have like the original countertops in there. And they had some of the carpet that was in there, but I think they ended up getting rid of it.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was fun.
I saw a picture from Dana. She was up on the counter. Her husband was under the sink.
We did that same pose.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
Man, Matthew, we're terrible at this stuff.
I
I know
just I
we missed that one.
I've got so many pictures I need to post, but yeah, that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, we missed that one. We drove by what is JC Bowl?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
The
bowling
bowling
alley.
Lower
alley?
Columbia,
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Right, yeah. We didn't go in there, but we did see it.
You
We
know what I
we
learned on this trip? We actually learned it on the shuttle ride to the Goonies house. I never knew this. I've never read it. I never came across it. Everybody on the shuttle bus knew it. This trivia that at the bowling alley, when Chunk puts his pizza up on the
Oh
window,
yeah.
and they were
Yeah,
saying, "Does anybody know why Chunk puts the pizza on the window?" And I was like,
yep,
"No." And they were like, "Because when they had done the scouting of the locations, like the shot was good, but between the scouting and the filming, they had put up a McDonald's sign. So they had to block the McDonald's sign from the camera. So that's why he puts his pizza up there, so you can't
yeah.
see the McDonald's sign." I had
Yeah.
no idea.
Me
I
neither.
told everybody that on our bus tour. Did you happen to get Rosemary for your bus guide?
We didn't do the bus
No.
tour.
Oh
Oh, you didn't do it?
No, this was on the shuttle
no.
to the house. The our
Oh,
we
okay,
had we had
okay.
booked a bus tour. We had booked it at the same time as the cast and crew panel, so
Oh,
Yeah,
we
gotcha.
had
yeah.
to just
Okay.
eat it.
Yeah. Plus, you had to be quick on the trigger the day all this stuff went on sale on
Yeah.
GooniesWeekend.com.
Yeah,
We tried like hell to coordinate because we had five people to worry about, yeah, and other panels to worry about, so we didn't quite get to do that.
right.
So
Hmm.
historical society had a little breakfast, or the Heritage Museum, and then that was about it, right, Matt? So we drove all the way back.
Some of the coolest little like the McDonald's sign trivia was in the scene when the Goonies are skipping up to the house, the not the house, the restaurant. They kind of hang out by a pile of logs and railway equipment.
Hmm.
And the reason for the logs was that there was these permanent benches that were in that area, and they
Yeah,
didn't want to get them in the shot, so they piled the wood over it. So that's another thing that I like.
yeah, yeah. And that was originally going to be like a cemetery, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then what else was I going to say? I don't remember. I've got so much stuff running through my
Yeah.
head right
Yeah.
now.
All right, Dill. All right. Enough of us. Enough of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to hear about the VIP cocktail party from Saturday night.
Yeah.
Okay, so boy, where to start?
So there was only 40 people allowed
Yeah,
Hmm.
at this cocktail party.
yeah. I think let's see who was. I think Davi was first there. Then Carrie showed up, and then Corey was like 45 minutes late, I think. But yeah, I was just hanging out down front, and with like Mark Marshall and all the other guys that
Who's
were
Mark
out there.
Marshall, Daryl?
Mark
For
Marshall
people that
worked
don't
on the
know.
Goonies. He also has the book Goonies, Killer Whales and Droids. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
he was Spielberg's like personal assistant.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see who else was out there. Lisa Downs, who's doing the Life After Goonies.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, Curtis Hanson, Mr. Perkins was out there. But yeah, so Robert Davi, he's a nonstop comedian.
Yeah.
He's always on. He's always
Uh-huh.
on. Like he's hilarious, very kind. Um, Carrie, she couldn't be sweeter. Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
she was trying
Yeah.
to leave, and then like 10 people came up to her and they're like, "Can I get your autograph?" And she did every one of them. Like she would have sat there and signed as long as she had to, or taking pictures or whatever, even though she had to go and like catch a flight.
Hmm.
And then Feldman, unfortunately, refused to do any signings, which I actually, I brought a Lost Boys replica bottle too, which I was hoping to have him sign,
Hmm.
but he wouldn't do that. And honestly, he was kind of pushed away from the crowd a little bit, but I think he has social anxiety because I heard
Hmm.
at the signings, maybe on a one-on-one, more intimate atmosphere, he was great. Like people were like, he was so great, but out in the open, accessible, I don't think he handles that well.
Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, but yeah, he left, and then I think he came back because we were in the house. We were like some of the last ones in the house. Me, Brad, and Kevin were hanging out talking to Bayman and Robert Davi and Corey, and then Bayman, Liz, and who else was on there? Somebody else. They were taking like couch photos and stuff like that. So we
Hmm.
were in there pretty late. But as far as the house, man, it was insane. Like there are so many details. Like JP Conley did an amazing job.
Hmm.
And he even like recreated spots that you don't really see in the film,
Hmm.
but they fit really well. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
even
Yeah.
though that spot wasn't in the film, like it fit so well. Like one of the little things was there were a ton of Hot Wheel cars like on the ground. Like
Hmm.
there had to be like 50 or something like that. It's just little things like that like
Yeah.
you really pay attention to. But I honestly, I couldn't believe how much stuff was in the house. It's insane. And it had to be so painstaking for JP and Stephanie to find all that stuff. I mean, I don't know if you saw any of his interviews and stuff, but he had that huge book of screenshots that he was going by.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. And he hid a bunch of Easter eggs in there too, in like photos where you couldn't really tell what was in the photo. So he put like, Easter eggs, like younger shots of people and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it was really cool. And then got to do a few one of one things that nobody else got to do. Like me, Brad, and Kevin, we got to take photos in the attic. Nobody else got to take photos in the attic. Nobody was allowed up there. You could peek up there, but honestly, the attic in the movie was way bigger than this attic. So with
Right.
them cramming all that stuff in there, it
Because it
was
was a
very,
set, right? The attic was a set.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. Yeah, it was a set somewhere else in LA. But them cramming all that stuff in there, there was very little room to do anything. So we could barely get up to the top of the staircase and take pictures. So like right by the staircase was like the map and the broken glass and stuff. So it's like I was
Hmm.
like dodging the broken glass or like, don't step on the glass, don't step on the
Right.
glass.
Right.
I'm good.
What about like the sexual torture devices?
Oh yeah, those were amazing. I've never seen anything like that. And the drugs in the drawers, so
Yeah.
good.
They put
Knew it.
yeah, that's funny.
That's
But yeah,
awesome.
there's some places roped off, and there's a lot of things like glued down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was
Was
amazing.
like fish tank in the front?
Yeah, 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 it was there. And details like there were some things in the fish tank in the movie, like little characters or whatever that were there too. But yeah, every detail was there.
What about like the kitchen?
Wow.
What do you want to know about it?
I don't know, like the sink and like, did it look like it from like
Yeah,
how
yes,
difficult would that be to recreate a 40-year-old kitchen?
exactly. Yeah,
Right, yeah,
exactly.
you gotta
They
get you
had
a
to,
fridge and
yeah, they had to fabricate some things, but I mean, I don't. A lot of people helped, which was good. A lot of people sent them stuff that they had, which helped out immensely. But yeah, I mean, they everything was spot on.
How
wow.
surreal was this experience for you walking through that house?
It was so weird. It was like I don't know. It kind of felt like I went back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I
Uh-huh.
mean, everything was 85-ish, so it just yeah, it was surreal.
Wow.
I
I mean, it
wonder,
felt like I was in the movie.
have you watched the movie since?
I haven't had time, man.
I
I
wonder
still
when you watch
running.
it. I wonder when you watch it if like it's gonna mess with
I
your head.
notice I notice other things
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will. Yeah, because like um Kevin Kukura and Brad Tyndall are the experts on it. So they were pointing things out to me like the figurines in the fish tank and stuff like that. They're like, oh,
Hmm.
this made it and da da da. But
Were there like the books in the staircase?
yes, yeah,
Man.
yeah, yeah,
Everything.
Brand's upside down leg stirrups or whatever he kind of hooks onto with those.
yes, yes.
Wow. How crazy. Was there any while you were hanging out with Carrie, Corey, and Davi, did they give you any kind of trivia or kind of backstage stories that no one else might have heard ever before?
Mm, no, not really. Fortunately, Corey took to me pretty well, as far as, like, just him kind of being scared of the crowd or whatever. But I was happy that he took to me. I got a
Yeah.
few photos with him where we were just kind of chatting it up. But
Uh-huh.
honestly, any conversations I had with them, it was just all a blur. But I was happy that I was received well and that I acted. I didn't know how I was going to act. I didn't know if I was
Yeah.
going to fangirl out
Right.
or, if I was going to be scared to talk to him. But everything was really natural. So it was
Yeah.
great. I mean, they were all kind and welcoming. So it was amazing.
That's cool because I froze up because prior to meeting Carrie, Anthony was like, "Dude, you got to get a plug for our podcast." And I was like,
Yep.
"Okay, I'm gonna
They're
try."
difficult. They're hard to get.
And
So
internally, I was thinking I'm gonna do it, but as soon as I got up there, she said hello, so sweet, and I froze. And I was like, "Oh, I like you, thank you," and I was out of there.
Yeah, that's totally what I thought I was going to do. But
Yeah,
being that I knew a ton of people there, I think that made it way more comfortable for me.
right.
If I didn't know anybody there and I was just like some stranger, I would have definitely probably hidden in the corner.
you
Yeah,
guys are
yeah,
probably more comfortable than they were, because you knew everyone there kind of knew each other. They were
Yeah,
probably the
yeah,
odd people out.
right.
yeah, yeah.
So did you hear like what are the plans for the Goonies house? Because you guys are the only ones allowed to go inside. No one else was. When we did the porch visit, they had all the blinds drawn. We couldn't even look inside.
Yeah.
So
They're usually like that when nobody's there.
so
So
what are the plans? Like how is anyone going to get to see
I
this
do,
amazing
it's so
recreation?
with things being glued down, it's basically a museum right now.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what the plans are for it. I think the city's giving pushback on stuff like Airbnb, and I don't even think you can do that with this.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to Richard, owner of Short Circuit House, because I got into town early just to stay at his house on the night of the third, because that was one of my goals. So that's the only reason why I got into town early. Also, so if you rent his house out, please do. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Cool.
He's got a ton of stuff to show. But if you see a short circuit skateboard in there and a Lego like remote control Johnny Five,
Uh-huh.
those are my gifts to him. He loved them, and I
Oh,
knew he would.
cool.
Yeah, so he's got those displayed in there. But so I was talking to him, and he kind of came up with a plan. I don't know how feasible this is, but um, like package a night stay at Richards, and then do a tour of the Goonies house, which I thought was a really good idea.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
like I said, the house isn't really livable or stayable. It's a museum right now.
Hmm.
So I thought that was a good idea. But as far as like any other plans, there haven't been any plans for it yet.
Interesting.
it's so crazy. It's so crazy that it's like
Yeah.
just sitting there.
Yeah, I mean,
You got to do something.
for it to only be open on, anniversaries would be kind of a waste
I
of
would
all the
pay good
talent.
money to walk through that house, just to walk, not touch anything,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
right.
You mean I don't know. Like it might mess with my head. So like, should I? I don't know.
But yeah, I think that's all you can do is right now is do tours of it. So I don't know how he'd work that out.
Oh, you know what else I think
Hmm.
you saw that we didn't get a chance to because we were so early was the bikes.
Yeah,
They had all the bikes, right?
they had
Hmm.
all the bikes. It was wild.
I
Like
saw some
even
pictures and they it looked like it was like legit, like the same models and everything. You saw them up
yeah,
close.
yeah, yeah. They were mostly spot on. Dude, Kevin Kukura is an absolute genius. So he was pointing stuff
Hmm.
out to me, like things that, well, that's not the right, like those aren't the right tires on Brand's bike and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he really knows every little detail about everything. It's so crazy. But yeah, they were
Wow.
pretty spot on.
Sweet. One
Yeah,
of
I
the
wish.
things that, real quick, we forgot to mention about Saturday's recap was after the costume contest, the mayor of Astoria, who's one of the judges, kind of, we overheard him say they have the car outside. So we went out in front and they had Troy's Mustang. And
Right.
the guy who took second in the solo costume contest jumped in the driver's seat. They had a Andy and they had a Steph back in
Yeah.
there, which is really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had a couple buddies, Rad and Mario. They recreated Mario was Brand and Rad was Troy, and they
Yeah.
recreated the scene.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope looking.
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know. I mean, I wasn't privy to, the skating contest because we were at the house, which, okay, I missed out on some skating because I was partying
Right.
at the Goonies house, but
Yeah, I mean
I
that's a
had
pretty
planned
damn good
on
excuse.
going. I hadn't planned on going to that, but yeah, I missed out on it, especially because I had some pretty legit costumes. Like my mouth costume, I had real 80s Bugle Boy parachute pants. And let me tell you the story about this real quick.
Yeah.
Like they only had, so I'm a 31-inch waist. They only had size 29-inch waist, right?
Uh-huh.
To have these pants. So I changed my entire lifestyle to fit into those pants. I
Well,
changed everything I ate. I lost 15 pounds and it
wow.
worked. I
Nice.
rocked.
Yeah, buddy.
I had chunk
Oh,
pants and I got
yeah.
fatter to where I couldn't fit into my chunk pants. So I had to buy like these like I don't even know why I'm saying this. I had to buy these like extender things like for pregnant ladies.
That's what I thought I was going to have to do for the parachute pants at first.
Oh boy.
That's the only part of a costume that I couldn't quite get was some chunk pants. Like I got some good plaid, wide plaid stuff, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I searched for months for this stuff and I did everything as screen accurate as possible. Like I had the
Yeah.
right color members only jacket for mouth, and
Yeah.
then
Hmm.
the red t-shirt underneath the
I
purple
got some
rain.
good
All that.
chunk pants. I don't know where I found them, but like that's as good as I'm gonna get. They're pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
So besides going to the house and doing everything else, you were like you were doing a lot of scavenger hunts, weren't you?
Yeah, like I said, I met so Jason Music was the guy that did the sloth impression. I don't know if you saw Bayman reposted it where he
Yeah.
had the
Hmm.
wiggly ear and like the CGI
Yeah.
eye. So I had friended him after he did that, and then I was up at the house and he comes walking up and I didn't recognize him. And then he came up and he's like, "Hey, are you Daryl?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm Jason. I'm the Sloth guy." I was like, "Oh my gosh, what's up, man?" So
Cool.
I ran into him, and then I ran into Michael Christopher as well, and we were like on a tear through the
Yeah.
city
Yeah.
constantly. One thing a lot of people didn't understand is that you didn't have to wait for the TikTok videos. So once a TikTok video was posted about a place where a coin was, they
Uh-huh.
refreshed those coins every day. So if you
Right.
went there and opened, a coin was there.
Hmm.
And then about 50% of those places, they replenished the coins at around 3 o'clock as well. So a lot of
Uh-huh.
them were doing two a day, but a lot of people didn't know that, they were
Yeah.
just waiting for the TikTok videos. But all
Hmm.
those places had coins every morning.
How many coins
Yeah.
did you get?
So thanks to Jason, I got one.
Uh-huh.
I came close like three different times.
Hmm.
But Jason, the one I got, like he got a random message from the escape room, and the escape room was like, "Hey, we heard there's one in the Cook building." So Jason
Uh-huh.
figures out which building is the Cook building. So we walk over to it. It's the one that has Mystic in it, and I was like, "He's probably just talking about Mystic or whatever." And Jason was like, "It wouldn't hurt to ask the escape room if they have one." So we went
Right.
down there. Nobody knew the escape room was doing them. So we go down there and he's like, yeah, there's one out in the lobby right now, really easy to spot. So we go looking around, couldn't find it. So he's like, have you guys found a coin yet? And I was like, we're looking for me right now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He's already found one. Jason ended up finding three.
Dang.
He's so smart and so good at impressions and stuff like that. But he found three. And so the guy was like, he was like, there's only been one other set of people in here that know about it. And
Yeah.
they weren't very nice, so I didn't give him any hints. But you guys are cool. So he was like, look up. So I looked up and he said it was easy to reach. It was like in the corner of the ceiling, like 2.5 feet above my head. Like I couldn't even jump up and get it.
Uh-huh.
But that's how I got my coin, was just pure luck, basically. But yeah, I tried like the ones in Sleeper Coffee were super hard.
Hmm.
I think the first day nobody found it until like almost closing time.
Yeah.
And I was there. Jason found one in Vintage. That's where, or yeah, Mystic. And that's where I
Hmm.
almost found one. But yeah, it was wild. We finally got Michael one. But we were on a tear, man. And then like one of the other places was Keepsake Tattoo that I almost found it. Like I knew I had a feeling it was going to be. They had two old style like bar, or I guess they were tattoo chairs that were sitting in there, and I was like, I know they're going to be under one of these. So I go and I look under it, and I'm looking. I don't see it, and I turn around, walk away, and another younger girl comes up, looks under it, and finds it. And I'm like, Are you kidding
Oh
me? Like I
no.
literally just looked there, but I didn't look hard enough. And it was
Yeah,
that
we
way for quite a few people. Like they
yeah, we
just
heard a lot
didn't
of
look.
stories of
Yeah.
people who just missed it. In fact, we were waiting in line. I was waiting in line for the movie at Columbian Theater, and I ran
Yeah,
into
that's where I
Daryl
met
there.
you.
Yeah, I was hanging out there, and there was one inside. It turns out they had
Yeah.
said, and as soon as
That's what
the doors open,
There was like five in there on
yeah,
that
people
first
rushed
day.
in. There was this one particular girl that we call Coin Girl who was really, really adamant about getting one, and so the doors open, and I go and find my seat, and Anthony comes and tells me, "Dude, some kid found one." Like right before Coin Girl, and she was so pissed.
Yeah.
And then these other two dudes that we met, this one dude, Eric or Nick, I can't remember which one he was. He told me he found two before the
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
even
We
started.
found two in the theater.
And I'm
We
like, are
actually
you
saw
kidding
Coin
me?
Girl. We saw Coin Girl on Sunday morning
Yeah.
outside outside the
That's the other thing too, is this event was completely magical. Like, so I missed you guys at Cannon Beach. I was supposed to meet you at Cannon Beach, right? I didn't have time for that because I got sidetracked.
we were too busy
You,
too, man.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I got sidetracked with the tattoo, thanks to Steve Barr from Beach Bum Laser Designs, his whole thing was he was like, I'm gonna get a 40th anniversary tattoo. And so I told him, I
Hmm.
said, if you do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So my first day into town after I stayed at the Short Circuit House, I was gonna go meet you guys, and I
Yeah.
stopped into Seaside just to meet Steve.
Hmm.
And thank him. I wanted to thank all the business owners personally that were in on it. So I went in there and I thanked him, met him. He showed me some behind the scenes stuff, presents that Bayman was going to get or whatever. And then he showed me his tattoo. So I walked next door,
Yeah.
or down the way to Against the Tides. And I was like, hey, I was thinking about getting this tattoo. I don't know if you have time. And he's like, well, I'm going to finish up with this guy in an hour. So if you want to wait around, I'll go ahead and do that. And so that gave me a chance to find one of Steve's magnets, which was right across the street. And yeah, he hooked me up. We kind of took one of Steve's magnets and mixed it with a photo that I pulled offline, and then he came up with what I got on my calf. So I got the 40th anniversary. Eventually I want to get sleeved up too, like Steve, but
Hmm.
I want all the elements in that, and I didn't want to start that. I wanted something specific to the event. So It's the skull with the crossed swords, and it says 40th anniversary under it.
So every anniversary you go, or are you just gonna like add a number below it, be like 41, then
Yeah,
42,
I'm
and
just
just
gonna
have like a
scratch out the
line?
four and put a five, or yeah, or yeah, the zero and put a five. Yeah, every 5 years I'll exit out.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, you lucky bastard.
I
Yeah.
know. It was, I there was so many other things too that I got to see a bunch of filming, and I may have been cast in a role.
Say what?
Yeah, I won't be getting my SAG card because I don't have any lines, but yeah, I was hanging out with the filming crew.
Uh-huh.
I got to see a lot of stuff. It was Monday the day after, so everybody was gone. But yeah, I've got a lot of video of that.
Have you
Um,
seen these videos, Matthew, on Instagram of
No.
them chasing Ma Fratelli's Jeep through the streets with the cops? They're going
yeah,
pretty
Uh-uh.
fast.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I will send you one of the videos that I had where they were filming, and the guy was supposed to let me know that they were coming because I was watching for traffic, and he
Uh-huh.
didn't. And the Fratelli Jeep came flying around the corner, and I'm standing like in the middle of the street, and I had to like dip out of the way real quick.
You're like Rosalita jumping around.
Exactly, exactly.
Nice. Wow. Yeah, I had no idea that went on.
It sounds like you had the best weekend ever. It's not even a weekend for you. You were there for like 10 days, Daryl. You were there
Yeah,
forever.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, like I said, got there early for Short Circuit House, stayed a couple days later just to get, drone shots and footage and see the sights that I didn't get to see.
Yeah.
And like you said, I literally just got in the door and threw open my computer like
Right.
right before we went on.
How amazing. How cool.
All right. Well, thanks, man. We're gonna let you go because you probably drove 10 hours today, and you know,
Yeah.
unless you got
Yeah.
unless you got any other juicy tidbits.
Um, no, I kind of gave you the juiciest tidbits. Can I throw some shout outs real quick?
Sure, yeah.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Steve Barr, like I said, from Beach Bum Laser Designs. He put out not only did he put out the $4,000 in magnets to begin with everything that he gave away in total, he was approaching $10,000 in merch that he gave away.
Wow.
Wow.
I want to say thanks to Richard for hosting me. Troy France, the Fratelli Jeep guy,
Uh-huh.
he hooked me up a little bit. I got to play around in the Jeep.
Oh yeah.
And Dave took us kind of behind the scenes in the museum too. We got to go upstairs and check out the upstairs and stuff,
Hmm.
which was really cool. But yeah, I mean, thank you to Bayman for all this stuff, man.
Yeah.
It was insanity. Like all the stuff he did. Like I know he was exhausted. We were talking about that. He had fallen asleep at one point. And have you ever been like so tired and somebody kind of wakes you up and you're just like, ugh, like what's going
Yeah.
on? Like kind
Uh-huh.
of like freaked out. Like that's what happened to him. Like
Yeah.
he fell asleep and Liz was like poked him and he like freaked out. Like what's going on? What happened?
Uh-huh.
He was so exhausted. He was just constantly running, man. So, like,
Yeah.
constantly filming.
Every time I saw him around town, though, he always had a huge smile on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, he
absolutely.
was super
He
cool.
loved, I mean, he was exhausted, but loved every second of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seemed like an amazing host. Like he was a great host.
Yeah, yeah.
Any more shout outs?
Just to Jay Ryan. So Jay Ryan was driving the Porsche around,
Mm-hmm.
the yellow Porsche. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
We
Hmm.
hung out quite a bit. If you don't know his story, look him up on Instagram at Porsche Life 111. His story is incredible. I was happy I got to hug it out with him on the Goonies porch. But yeah, I was hanging out with him a lot just because we were, hanging out with the filming crew and stuff like that. He was everywhere too, honestly. I think he was even more so than I was everywhere.
Hmm.
Thanks to Judith, she hosted a bunch of us. I hung out quite a bit with Mick Alderman too, just because she was hosting kind of an after hours thing for a group of us. But yeah, it was, man, there was so much,
How
so
great.
much.
Oh, before we let you go, there was one I was going to ask you
Yeah.
during at the Goonies house with Kerry Green, Davi, and Feldman. Did you guys do the Goonies oath?
No,
Ah.
no, we didn't do it.
Oh,
No,
very
we did
nice.
at the bonfire though. We did at the bonfire.
Oh, sweet.
You think you want to do it right now?
Okay,
You remember
let's do it.
it?
Clever segue.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Totally ready.
I will never betray my Goondock friends. We'll stick together until the whole world ends. Through heaven and hell and nuclear war, good pals like us will stick like tar. In the city or the country or the forest or the boonies, I am proudly declared one of the Goonies.
Nice.
Yeah. Very nicely read.
Well, I'm glad that you had the best time of your life, Daryl. Man, like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
really you did everything. You were everywhere.
Dude,
Yeah.
I gave away so much stuff. I mean, I had been building an arsenal of stuff to give away for months and months and months.
Hmm.
Starting at the bonfire, I was giving away Baby Ruth's and then samples of that Great Notion smoothies beer that they made for the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
And then it was just like I had like doubloons and the Data Kid. You guys saw the Data Kid, right? Yeah, I had one copper bones to give away, and I gave it to him. I saw
Nice.
him at the when I was looking at Keepsake Tattoo. They walked into the restaurant next to us, and I was like, there was a line of people waiting to get the coin, and I like ran away from the line. I was like, "Hold on, guys, I'll be right back." And I ran in there and I gave him that copper bones. I was like, "Your
Way to
costume,
go.
the whole family was a killer
Yeah.
Yeah,
costume."
this is probably the same family we saw at the jail on the first
Yeah,
Yeah.
day.
it definitely
Yeah, they
was. I
did a
mean, it
good
seemed like
job.
everybody saw him and
Yeah.
everybody absolutely loved it, and rightly
They did.
so.
Yeah, they did a great
That's
job.
another cool thing that I forgot to mention was me walking around town. I don't know how many people gave my kids stuff. Were giving them giveaways, or even me. People
Yeah.
are
Yeah,
constantly
that-
giving you cool
We
stuff.
went to Pig and Pancake, and
yeah,
I mean the last place you kind of expect that to happen, and this nice lady handed out Mikey's marble pouch to Anthony's kids, which is really cool.
yeah. Was it a leather one?
No, it was like a crocheted one.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but it was still cool.
Was part of my little gift bags was like I handed out screen accurate gems thanks to Magnolia Props for hooking me up with a
Hmm.
discount because I bought so many. And then like Paragon Effects, I had the coins from them that I was handing out. Um,
See, this is you going above and beyond, man. You didn't have to do
Yeah.
screen accurate gems. You could have just done plastic gems.
No, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go all out.
Yeah,
It's gotta be as screen accurate, as perfect as possible when I do something.
exactly. I got one of those bags from you, so thanks again for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
thank
very
you.
cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to stick everything up in my Goonies collection shelves, and there's not enough room.
Yeah, I know.
Just get some of those books out of there.
Yeah.
Probably.
Box up those books. That's Goonie space.
Oh, speaking of books, real quick, were you weren't around, but
Oh,
one of the guys we met in the line gave us he was selling these books out of his car.
uh-huh.
It was the book that Bran was reading up in the attic.
You have one of
Um,
these, don't you? I feel like you would. I feel like you got everything.
yeah.
Which one is it?
It's like the Pirates of the Pacific Coast. Is that what it
Oh,
is?
no, I don't have that. I don't have that.
Pirates of the Spanish Main.
Yeah, when I heard
And
about that guy was selling them, like I was so jealous.
yeah.
Like I don't have that. I don't have that. I need that.
Yeah, apparently he bought like 50 of them like 10 years ago, and he's like, these are
Yeah,
worth $1
see,
million
it's got
dollars.
Really?
got
That's why I had them.
one-eyed
Yes.
Willie fighting the
Yes.
yeah.
No, I need that book. That's actually, I was thinking about it on the way home. Like that's my next endeavor. I got to get that book.
Yeah, super random.
That was Nick and Eric.
Eric. Yes, they have a podcast called what was
Discretion.
it? Discretions. Just I think we gave them a shout out last time, but just a
Yeah,
reminder.
they were super cool guys.
Super
Oh,
cool.
one more shout out to Jeff Daly, the owner of the Underground Tours. So I had I really wanted to do that, but he was only offering like Saturday tours. So I hit him up and I was like, I really want to do this, but you're only offering Saturday. And Saturday, of course, was the busiest day. It was just event, 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 event.
Right, yeah, yeah.
So I talked to him a bit and he's like, well, what do you think? Like, what day should I do it? And I'm like, do it every day of the event, put a couple tours in there. So he did, and I've got to do that. And, they had coins down there, but what everybody didn't know was the coin was at the end in the car, like
Oh,
on every tour.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
I don't know.
We didn't do that.
I ran into him. I hung out with him quite a bit too.
I thought the
Cool.
Under the Great experience was the Underground Tour. I'm so dumb.
No, yeah, you got it way wrong. Way to go.
Whatever. Well, all right, Daryl. Get some rest, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right.
We really appreciate it. You
Yeah,
came on
yeah,
and
and
like giving us
it
all
was great to just talk to you some more.
Yeah, it was great to talk to you guys. I'm glad we got to meet up. You know, the timing, you guys doing your porch visit was perfect timing.
Yeah,
'Cause that was just a small window that I had nothing to do. And I heard this from a million people. Like timing worked out with everybody. Like it was, you know, it was so magic. I ran into so many people accidentally that I wanted to run into at some point, and I really thought
yeah.
I wasn't going to see a lot of people, but I saw almost everyone just completely randomly. I would hear Daryl, and I'd look up and I'd be like, "Shut up! You're staying in the ho same hotel?" And they're like, "Yes, I'm right above you." Like, you know what I
Right
mean? Like,
on. Yeah,
it was crazy that really, the whole thing was magical.
it was.
There's no other way to put it.
No, no.
You going back next year? Like, when's your next Goonies?
I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to go back. I might just go back in October because I need to get more autographs. So I had there's the Rose City Comic Con. I think it's in
It's in
October.
September. September.
Is it September?
Yeah.
I haven't bought tickets or anything, but I need to get more autographs because so the guy that built I told you guys, the guy that built the Rube Goldberg machine in the front yard, Donald Dean.
Yeah,
Shout out to Donald Dean also because he gave me $50 bills to put in my gift bags since he couldn't
right.
make it. So if you got a $50 bill, that was from Donald Dean, the prop master
Oh,
who built
cool.
that machine. He hand drew me a map for the cast to sign. So I have I wanted a really legit map, really legit
Hmm.
map, and he hand drew it for me and sent it to me so I
Oh,
could.
excellent.
Yeah, I'm working on my wife for Rose City as well.
Are you?
Yeah. The
That would be
Plimps is gonna be there. Joey Pants.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
You
And I
gotta get
guess I
those
have to
guys.
pay for Feldman's signature now.
Yeah, you didn't get it.
Although I was told after the fact that if I would have talked to the right person, they would have had it done for me.
Uh,
Oh well.
Oh well,
You
all
do
good.
next
you'll
time.
get it.
So that would be really sick if I saw you at Rose City.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
let's get
I'm
that
working on it.
done.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm trying to tell
All
my
right.
wife, let me go to the Comic Con, and then you can just do like a coffee tour of Portland or whatever.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
And
go.
that was working. It
Go
was
get, go
working
get
out.
some voodoo donuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe I'll see you.
Cool.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Right? Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, Daryl. Thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me. It was a
All right.
Cool.
blast.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see you guys.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone, for this part 3 recap of the most amazing weekend of our lives, probably.
Yep.
And we'll see you soon on Sloth Love Chunk. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.